Real quick before we get into this, disclaimer, I'm not a personal trainer, not a certified nutritionist, just sharing my experience. Okay, welcome to episode 3, the reverse diet. So I got so many questions about this, for good reason. I understand it because I was even like, I just found out about the reverse diet like around September, and I was really, like, of last year of 2020, I was really scared to give it a shot because I just lost a bunch of weight and I was like eating more, like, and I wasn't necessarily where I wanted to be yet. But after like looking at the science and looking into it, I was like, okay, like this is probably the best thing for me, because I had hit a plateau. What a plateau is it's a metabolic adaptation. So I had been eating at low calories for a long period of time, and my metabolism adapted to those calories. Metabolism's like, this is how much we eat, okay, we're gonna stay at this, and this is how we're gonna maintain our weight. And so to get past that, I needed to get my metabolism fired up again and raise it. So over a long period of time, mine took about 3 to 4 months, I started adding calories in very slowly. So to start off, whenever you're gonna start, before you start, take measurements around your waist or weight. We're just gonna call these data points. These are just data points. How often you do it, you can do it 2-3 times a week and get an average, or you can do it every day. Just make sure you don't develop like an unhealthy relationship with the scale. So take your data points at the beginning and then add in like 50 to 100 calories for a week. And during that week, if the scale goes up, then you're just gonna stay where you're at. So let's, for example, I'm gonna throw some numbers out there. If I started off at 1200 and I added 1300 calories, my data points went up, then I'm just gonna stay at 1300 for another week or 2. If you're going really conservative for this, you can add in calories and stay there for 2-3 weeks. Like, just really take it slow if you're terrified of losing your progress. I just did kind of a week at a time, and if I went up at all, then I would just stay there for another week. If you're taking your data points and they're going down, because this can happen, weirdly enough, I know, it happened to me at some points when I would add calories. My metabolism loved that. My waist would go down or my weight would go down. So if your data points go down, that means you're still in a deficit. So just keep bumping them up. A good way to bump up calories and that like in only 100 or 50 is just take what you've been eating, your same kind of meal plans, and just portion size goes up a little bit. A good way to know this is logging in MyFitnessPal ahead of a time, to where you can say, if I'm used to eating 3 ounces of ground turkey for lunch, I'm gonna start eating 4, and that'll give you that little calorie bump. And then kind of it's probably gonna be multiple meals, you'll have to portion size up, or maybe you portion size your snacks go up a little bit. I think planning through MyFitnessPal is the best way to like know, because then when you go to cook or meal prep or plan, then you know exactly what you're gonna add your calories at. So you're gonna keep doing this process for probably over a couple months until you hit a point where your data points keep going up. If they keep going up, then okay, now we're gonna bump it back down to the last point where you had consistency. You were at 2000 for a good 2 weeks, and then when you went to 2100, your data points kept going up. Okay, let's go back down to 2000 and let's ride that out and see what happens. Take data points still. If you just stay the same, then you've reached your like range, your maintenance. So maintenance calories are a range. Depends on activity level. So don't get set on like a certain number. So if one day you're super active and you're at your maintenance, but you're like, why am I so hungry? It's because you were super active. So eat a little bit more. It's okay. That's the beauty of maintenance. If you are like working out, you'll get stronger, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better. Just see that when you add in more calories, you will feel better over time. Lauren Fit Foodie on Instagram and YouTube, and she has a food blog that's amazing. She has a very detailed video about this and goes into the science. So if you want to check that out and you're confused by my video, sorry, then go check that video out because she talks about the science and it's great. And she also talks about diet breaks, which is something I'll kind of just give you a little overview of a diet break. It makes dieting so much easier, and I think it makes your progress better because what it is, so for example, end of each month for a week, I'm gonna bump my calories up to my maintenance range and eat there for a week. So then my metabolism doesn't adapt as easy. I get that break and have like a mental break too, and I get to like refeed. It can be a refeed day too. And a lot of these techniques are used for like weightlifting and bodybuilding, but they work both ways. They work if you're not resistance training too. So don't think that just because you're not resistance training that you can't try a reverse diet, because you can and it will work. It's just getting your metabolism firing again on all cylinders. So if you have any other questions, let me know. My DMs are always open, and I hope this helps, and I hope it wasn't confusing, because it can be kind of a confusing thing, and I know it's terrifying. I was so terrified to do it, but it was so worth it. And now I will always reverse diet after I'm done with the fat loss phase. I will always have diet breaks when I am in a fat loss phase, because it's the most sustainable way to go about dieting. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions.